Good afternoon. Looks like still connecting audio for a few of you, so we'll give it another minute or so for more people to get into the space yet. It's a minute before noon yet, so welcome to those of you who are here early. Thanks for showing up.
Are there any handouts for today?
No.
Okay, perfect.
No handouts.
Could you give us the code that we are supposed to use with Sage to get into your program through Sage?
Into which program?
I thought there was a link that Sage had mentioned before if we were going to join Kajabi to join it through her.
Her Kajabi link?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be sure which link you were referring to because she has other programs too, but you're talking about the link just to get Kajabi, signed up for Kajabi.
Correct.
Great. Okay, yeah, let me get that for y'all real fast. Still letting people into the room. They're coming in now in droves. Okay, so let's see here. And I apologize if it looks like I'm looking way off. I've got two big monitors in front of me and my camera right dead in the middle, so.
No worries.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in. Oh, I can't chat with you guys here, can I? Or can I? We don't have chat available. So you'll need to probably get it from Sage's site because it's not something I could read to you. It's like small c, capital R, small m, big R, T, L. I mean, it's like it's a wonky, long link.
There's an email that was sent for us to join today's meeting. The link is in there.
There you go.
Ah, thank you.
Yes, thank you for finding that out. All right, it is 12:01, and I will say I want to get started right now because as opposed to waiting too much longer for more people to show up, because I do have a real hard stop at 2 today. I know the last couple times we've gone over. Can't do that today because I do have another client right at 2 p.m. So let's get rolling with this. Just a quick, well, first of all, welcome, goddesses. Great to see you all here. Thank you for showing up, and so excited for what you've got going on in your worlds and in your business. And I also just want to check in real quickly to see who of you are already using Kajabi. And just since some of you don't have video on, you can also just use the reaction thing of putting a thumbs up there like I just did on my video. And so who is currently using Kajabi? Let's see a thumbs up there or hand. Cherise, Kathy. Okay, it looks like, yeah, maybe just a couple of you. Okay, so I'm assuming then that the rest of you are not. How many of you who aren't currently using it do have it installed for your trial right now? Elena's using it. Okay, so looks like we've got a lot of real newbies in here, which is great. So what I always like to start with is I want to go over the new stuff. Like, how do you look at it, approach it from scratch? What does it do? We'll cover that kind of in a general fashion, and then what we'll do is we'll move into some Q&A, and then some of you who are already using it, you might have some more stuff going on as well. Lena, you've already got a hand up. What, do you have a question that's burning to get started before we go into the review? Oop, what just happened there? What happened? Tracy's got a hand up as well. Why is my screen acting all weird?
I'm showing that.
There we go. Now it switched back. Okay. Yeah, Tracy, you've got a hand up.
Yeah, does it matter if we do the free trial first? Will we have only limited access with that? Is it smarter
No,
to
their
just
free trial is full access. You get it for, I believe
okay.
they have a 28-day trial. So I do recommend that during these trainings is a good time to practice and see if it's going to fit for you, because you got it for nearly a whole month. So it'd be a good time to really, get in there and play around.
And we won't lose anything that we've created in the free trial once we go to the paid version.
No, you would only lose it if
Okay.
you can't. And even then, if you canceled and then waited a while before you joined, I think it would still be there probably. I don't know for sure, but you could always check with them and see.
Okay. Thanks.
Michael,
Yeah, you're
do
welcome.
we raise our hands at the end, or when?
Yeah, I'd rather go through, unless you've got a burning question that is something that needs to be answered right now, because
No.
first I'm going to do a review of everything, like a first time setup and look at it. And then from there, we'll start to look at, then the Q&A. All right. And Caitlin, looks like you had your hand up. Oh, it's not up now. Okay, so I guess that answered it a little bit. So let's get rolling. People still keep popping into the room. I'll keep pausing every now and then to let people in, but right now I'm going to go to a screen share and we're going to take a look at Kajabi for when you first log in. All right, so this is your primary screen upon login, and I'm also going to try to figure out how I can see, there we go, when participants show up so I won't miss anybody while I'm on screen share. All right, so when you first log into Kajabi, you're going to see you've got a nice screen here of what is called essentially your dashboard, or it could be considered a home page. But over in the left column, and pretty much everything in Kajabi, it's very interesting. It's kind of like website builders if you've ever done those. Most of the work happens in the left column. That's where your menu stuff appears, and that's where you do the work, but you visually see things in the right segment. And so we're going to start here with website. Now, you can use Kajabi as your primary website, and many people do. And I'll let you know, for those of you who aren't even fully sure what Kajabi is, how they started, let me just give a quick background on Kajabi. I've been with Kajabi, gosh, over 5-6 years now. I'm still considered one of their founders, even though they've been around for close to 10, but I was one of the early adopters. They started out as a membership platform, membership/online course. And any of you who've been in the business for a little while, you know that more and more in the beginning, we had to piecemeal stuff. You would have your mailing service, and then you would have your landing pages, and then you would have your checkout pages, and everything was kind of piecemeal, and your online course and all that. And more providers tried to become your one-stop shop where it's all integrated. And some of these have done this exceedingly well, and Kajabi happens to be one of those. So in addition to now being a place to house an online course or a membership program, it is also now considered a great landing page resource. All of your landing pages can be done there, and it is a great CRM for customer relationship manager. That takes the place of things like Aweber, MailChimp, which by the way, those are like the really low end. They're barely CRM. They're really more of just mailing services, but it's actually taken the place more of like Infusionsoft or Entreport and the like. Active Campaign, Constant Contact, those are your bigger, more robust CRMs. Kajabi can do all of that now. And they keep getting better too. They keep adding more and more cool stuff. So knowing that it is this kind of an all-in-one service, I want to just give you a quick overview of how it's laid out and what you can but may choose not to use it for. I do not use it for my website, by the way. I still use WordPress for all of my websites. But when you go to the website segment here, oh, look, they've got a new Encore beta release. When you go to the website section here, you'll notice below that it opens up these 4 elements here. So you have design for the website. That's where we are right now. You could actually design your full website here. You could go to pages if you just want to create landing pages or squeeze pages or opt-in pages. I use their pages like crazy because their page designer is really robust, really easy, and makes for some very beautiful pages. And so I use it primarily as a page builder. You can use it to present your blog, and then you have great analytics too. How many people are landing on your pages? How are they converting? which of course, you know, if someone lands on a page and it's an opt-in page, well, how many people who land there actually complete the process and opt in? So you get to track your conversion statistics. Super important as you grow your business. So that is the website piece of it, from all the way from a website to basic individual pages that can be used across the board. Next, we get into products. Within products, you can create both products and offers. And I'll explain in a moment what that is, but let's start with products. You could have a membership site, an online course. Your coaching program can be positioned in here. I use it for all of those. My year-long training, the Authority Academy members are inside. They get a training portal inside there. I use it for the recordings of my weekly podcasting calls, so people get access to those. You can use it for all types of stuff to set up your products. You can also create offers, and what I mean by an offer is, let's say, and I'm sure if Sage hasn't already taught you this, you will at some point, but I'm sure you've seen her deliver it from stage or even virtually, what's known as a bonus stack. And that is when someone signs up for the course that you're offering, you might throw in a few bonuses. Might be another training program, or might be a membership, or whatever it may be. Well, that's where offers come into play. So you can actually create an offer that is a combination of multiple programs, and you sell it just like that. Many of you may know who Eben Pagan is. He does this occasionally. He'll just throw out an email to his list and say, hey, I'm packaging 10 or 12 of my old courses for a super low discounted price. If you want them, here's the link. And that's an offer he's created that now when they purchase that, you get access to all of those. So that's where offers comes in really handy. Now let's jump down to the marketing segment. The marketing is where you get to do your emails and your campaigns and set up automations and forms and even events. And they have a segment here that's called pipelines. In Entreport, which is my main CRM, I use Entreport and Kajabi. And in Entreport, it would be called a campaign. And basically what that means is it's kind of like a flow chart, if you will. How does the customer flow through the program? In this case, what is the pipeline through which they're flowing? So first, as you see here in this little sample, is the sign-up page. After they sign up, what happens next? Boom, you put them into an email sequence. After that, what happens next? Boom, we send them to a special offer page. If they decide to buy that offer, boom, it takes them over to the checkout. So this is a pipeline, and you can create these flows. Also, you may have heard of them known as a funnel as well, as how do you funnel your clients through a process from just connecting with you to actually making the purchase. So those are available to be set up in pipelines. You also have email campaigns. So you've probably heard of an indoctrination sequence. If you haven't yet, you will at some point. Your indoctrination sequence is when someone first opts in for your free gift, you want to send them a series of emails right away to get them used to you, to get them to know you. Because if they opt in for your free gift and then you don't email them for a month, well, a month later, they don't remember who you are. And they may have at that point then going, I don't know who you are, I didn't sign up for your list. And then they opt out real quickly and potentially even complain, saying, hey, this is spam, I didn't sign up, because they forgot. But an indoctrination sequence is that series of emails you send them right away so that they remember who you are and so that they look forward to opening your emails. So you can create those inside of email campaigns. And then you can create a nurture campaign, which is your ongoing emails, like on a weekly basis of just keeping up with your customers, letting them know new stuff, giving them great value on a weekly basis. Typically, those should be evergreen. Those are different than a broadcast. A broadcast maybe send out a big email saying, hey, my live event is in 3 days. That's a broadcast. That's a one and done. But a nurture campaign is a general email that's called evergreen because it's not time-based. And so as an example, you know, Tracy might sign up for my list and she gets the first in a nurture email campaign on Monday. And then Marcia signs up for my list a month later and she gets her first in the same nurture campaign. She would get the email that Tracy got a month ago because you're just starting that campaign. Does this make sense? Everybody with me on that? Great. I see some nodding heads. That's good. So you can do that. You can set up automations. And automations are super cool because automations are what allow, they're like if-then statements. So you could set up an automation that says, if somebody buys this, then do this. Then send me an email so that I know they bought it, or then send it to my team, or then put them into the program. The automations are super cool. I will tell you that right now, those are only available, and we're set up in a sample account right now for playing around with this, which is the low account. The automations are limited in the basic account, but they're more robust in the what's called the growth plan. I think that's the middle tier structure. So you may want to look at that one. Now you've also got events you can set up. If you're scheduling something, you put an event in the calendar and it'll coordinate stuff for you around that. You can set up your forms. So I know Sage also teaches you about doing quizzes and questionnaires and stuff. So your forms can allow you to ask people questions, then you can then track and store the results. So forms are pretty cool. And then finally, let's look at people. This is where the real CRM element comes in, customer relationship management. With your people, you can actually track. So we've done some testing, sampling in here. So you can track information about that person. So here's my account signed up when we first did a training on this a couple of months ago, looks like August 6th. Within here, it'll give you information about the client. You know, so what emails they may have been sent, whether they opened them or not, what offers they may have been granted. You see down here, we were playing with an offer. That's a mega cool offer for free. It'll give you information on when they signed up, if they're subscribed, when they became a member, how much money they've spent, because you want to track kind of a customer lifetime value. It'll show any purchases they made or if they were just granted them for free. And it'll show what products they're currently in. You could enter notes on the customer if you have anything you want to say about a particular thing. And here's what's really cool in purchases. If you click on view, you can see the activity. So you can see here, you could revoke access to this if you want to take someone out of a program. Like let's say they decided to stop paying and you're going to remove them. You can do that. And within products, you can actually view their progress. And so if there were a series of videos in here, like see here, we have some just kind of set up as samples, but you can see that none of these have been watched, 0%. But over time, you can actually see, oh, are they actually watching the videos? Are they consuming the content? So it's really robust in the area of, you know, really tracking what your customer's doing. And it helps you to actually make your program more rich for them as well. Okay, let's stop that, get back to people here. Okay. And finally, in people, we have assessments. So if you want to, you can actually have at the end of a particular, like let's say it's an online course, you can have them pass an assessment before it unlocks the next piece, which can be super valuable if you don't want people just rushing through and not really completing stuff. You give them an assessment. And if they don't hit a passing score or whatever you set that to be, it does not unlock the next piece. So this is a super handy way for you to actually, you know, really make this work well for your people who are in an online program. You could also even use it for a membership. If you say, hey, you know, you need to complete this assessment before we unlock the next item. You don't have to lock things necessarily. You could just use it for scoring and there is no pass fail. You could use it just to ask questions. Like, what did you like best about this particular module? So the assessment tool is really cool. And then this last piece here is affiliates. And again, with affiliates, you only get this at the mid-range level. That's it. I believe it's called the growth phase, not the basic, but the growth level. And if any of you are looking to do affiliate relationships, joint ventures, JV partnering with people, you're going to want to have this level because it will allow you to set up and track affiliates and attract their commissions and whatever offers you may make for your affiliates. So that's a handy feature as well. All right, so that is the quick overview. I'll go real briefly into settings down here to just show you some of the stuff that comes along with it. There are third-party integrations. If you want to integrate it with Aweber or MailChimp, if you're using some other management for your email. If you don't want to use the email manager inside of Kajabi, you don't have to. You can, use Zapier to connect it with a whole ton of other things. You can connect with ClickFunnels if you choose to. There's nothing ClickFunnels does really that you can't do within within Kajabi. So you don't have to worry about that so much. You also have your site details, your marketing settings. You can set up member payments. There's all types of stuff you can do in here to really round out your account. And so those are some of the basics of Kajabi. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first open for a quick, easy questions, and then we're going to go into, just so you know kind of the agenda of what we're going to cover, I'm going to teach you how to build a page. We'll do an opt-in page and a thank you page. I'll show you how to do those. I'll show you how to set up a product. And so if you've got questions about those, just bear with me. Those will be taken care of. But otherwise, if you have any questions so far about what I've covered, let's do a raise of the hands and then I'll see. Okay, Tatina, am I pronouncing that right?
Hi there. Just a couple of really quick questions. If you use Kajabi for your website, what kind of are you able to pick your URL, or does it does it have Kajabi on it or anything like that?
You have a choice. You can make it a custom domain. Otherwise, it would be kind of a combination. So I only use a custom domain on one of my Kajabi sites. I have multiple. And so, yeah, it could be either way. But if you don't use it, it might say something like, in this case, it's womenrockingbusiness.mykajabi.com/whatever.
Okay.
Right.
And in terms of what happens in there, especially with the courses, is there a way for it to sort of flow back and forth between Kajabi and, say, the Facebook groups? Is there, is there a
Well,
bridge that...
flow back and forth is a little bit...
I know, it's really vague.
Yeah.
That's the,
There is a way to have it flow back and forth with a website, and I can show you that. As a matter of fact, that's a good example to share with. It'd be a little bit harder to do it with, doing it in Facebook, because I'm not quite sure how we would do it there. But I'll just show you with my own website, because again, there are certain page builders that I love inside of Kajabi. And so as I'm building out pages, even for my website, I'm like, you know what, I'd rather build this as a Kajabi page. So you see my website here now? Is everybody seeing that? If I go to, on my menu bar up here, if I go to coaching, I'm going to click on that. This is actually a Kajabi page. It just opened up. So you can make your menu link to anywhere, and I link it to a standalone Kajabi page. But notice up front, I kept it doesn't have the exact look. I probably could make it look more like my website, but I did keep the menu bar the same as my regular website and my logo here. But with this site now, this is built in Kajabi. So I have all of the different programs and offers that I have, because it's so easy to build up a really pretty robust site. Now, if someone were to leave this and go back to home, it takes them back from Kajabi, back to my WordPress site. And so that is the difference here, is there's that kind of an easy flow, but Facebook, there'd have to be linked, they'd have to go back and forth, and it'd be a lot harder potentially.
I have one last quick question. In terms of tracking the assessments, are you able to automate, say, their progress, and automate it with well, if they've only reached a certain point, then there's an automatic kind of email that gets sent to encourage them to the next step, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, those are part of the automation. So you can set it for a particular thing, like when they've reached, let's say you've got modules set up. When they reach module 12 and they hit a certain amount of progress, you can say, do this. So yeah, the automations are really robust in that respect.
That's it for right now. Thank you.
You got it. Jen. Jen, you got a question?
Yeah, really quick question. So you mentioned, and thank you for that, because that was really helpful. So you wouldn't necessarily create a website through Kajabi, but you can link, like, let's say Squarespace, or you said WordPress. That would be the way to do it, like what you just showed us.
Well, I do it because as with any platform, there are certain areas where they shine and certain areas where they don't. And so I bounce. I don't use Kajabi, quite honestly, for my CRM because they added it on later and they're getting better with it. But Entreport is a much better CRM. They're better for mail managers. So that's why and they're both expensive, but that's why I pay for both, because they're worth it.
Okay.
And so some you'll bounce around. Now, as far as it working with a Squarespace site, as long as in a menu button, you can direct that button to a particular URL and it doesn't have to stay within Squarespace, then yeah, you could do it that way.
Yeah. But would you suggest that I like lift my Squarespace site, like take my copy and pictures and stuff and go through Kajabi?
Move it all over to Kajabi?
Yeah, is that something that you might suggest to someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only reason I tell people, and you may know I'm big in the podcasting space, and the main reason I keep WordPress sites is because podcasting, WordPress is the way to go. There's so many wonderful plugins that support your podcast that you're not going to get in Squarespace, Kajabi, or anywhere else.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. Elena. And by the way, if you've raised your hand, they appear in an order, in a pecking order in the participants. So you need to raise your hand to get questions asked.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
I'm currently switching from ActiveCampaign to Kajabi, and I need to transfer my list. And in my list, I have both men and women. And I recently decided to focus specifically on women, and I'm creating the whole campaign around women. What is the best approach for me to separate that list? And maybe after I download and maybe I separate them so I can import two separate lists. Would you suggest that?
Yeah, let me actually show this one visually, the way to do that. Okay, so let's go back into Kajabi.
There is a place that I can import that
right,
file.
but there's more to it than that.
Right.
This is the part that I want to cover. And within ActiveCampaign, I don't know if ActiveCampaign has tags. And if I'm guessing they do. I mean, very few.
Yes, they do.
Okay. So as long as you have people tagged as either man or woman, male or female, if that tag exists, then you can sort by the tag and export only a portion of the list. But also when you go to import your list, and actually here, if we go to add people, you can actually, what you would need to do is generate your list in your existing, whatever your list usage is, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, whatever it is, you're going to need to export it as a CSV file. That stands for comma separated value. And when you import, you can go here to import multiple, and it's going to ask you, and it's going to even show you how you want to set it up. So in this case, it would be John Doe, comma, again, comma separated values, jdoe@example.com. You could potentially, I believe, I don't know this for a fact, import it like the tag. So then it could be comma and then the tag. Now, I don't know this for a fact. What you may need to do is separate them first, like you were talking about, have all of your women, import them, and then click down at the bottom, add a tag, and then you would add a tag that said female. All right. And then when you import them, it will tag them as women. Those are your female imports.
But would you suggest to import them as two separate files, or can I just import?
I would import them separately just because of the safety of being sure the tag gets done properly.
Okay.
I would separate your list, import all the women first, then import all the men, and add the proper tags as you go in. And you could also add other tags as well. So you may want to even do subsets of those, like people who've bought from you before. If your list has already been around for a while and you've already got a lot of tags, it may be a little more tedious moving it over.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, next hand up is Dr. Picunas. Am I pronouncing that right? You need to unmute yourself there. It looks like you might be looking for it.
Hey, I've
There we go.
unmuted myself. Hey, my question to you, Michael, is what specifically does Entreport give you that Kajabi does not?
For me, Entreport is far more robust in its CRM features. They see Entreport started as a CRM, and then they started adding all the other stuff. Kajabi started as membership and online courses, and then started adding all the other stuff. So both of them have their own super strong wheelhouses, and I prefer those because of it. And that's why I continue to use both. The other thing that I do, which is unique, is Entreport makes great sales pages. Kajabi makes a better, I'm sorry, reverse that. Kajabi makes a great sales page. Entreport makes a better checkout page. The
Ah,
process of when they're entering their credit card information, that page looks better in Entreport. Kajabi's sales pages look better. So again, for me, it's part of it's operational cost. If you're doing working from home, you don't have to pay for an office space. So this is your operating expenses, your platforms. And so that's why for me, it's like, you know, $300 a month on each of those. 600 bucks a month is cheaper than I would pay for an office rent somewhere.
but as far as the emails getting from point A to point B, there aren't any difficulties in that respect?
No, I think they're pretty well. They're fine. I don't use Kajabi much for email. I use mostly an Entreport because that was really, again, the CRM piece is better. The tagging is more robust. The campaign structures I think are better. There's just a lot more oomph to it there because that's where they started, was in all that email management and customer relations.
Okay, so you're able to juggle more than one ball. Good for
Yeah,
you.
and they work really well together. They play nicely. You know,
Thank you.
super easy. Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, Charisse, am I pronouncing that right? Okay.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
I think my question is going to be really basic now, having listened to those. I literally just got Kajabi like last week. Just trying to figure out though yesterday how you get a calendar link if you were offering a free discovery session.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a perfect segue into the next part that I wanted to teach, which is the opt-in and thank you page. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the last hand up right now. So we'll answer that as we move into this next piece. All right. So I'm going to go back to sharing again, and we'll get into Kajabi. And now we're going to go into creating a landing page. Now we've already played, oops, it's under a website. We've already played around with a few in past trainings of this, but we're going to start a fresh one here. So we're going to go new page. I want to just show you how easy it is to start a page. They give you a lot of templates in here. They even give you a little tutorial training, a little video. But basically, you can go into a streamlined video opt-in. If you don't want to do a video on your opt-in page, you can just do a basic streamlined opt-in. So we're going to do that. We're going to say get started. We give it a title. We're going to call it brand new opt-in. It takes a moment to populate it with the theme that it currently has. And quite frankly, I often will start from scratch. I'll go in and delete all the stuff they have there and just start from scratch because it's so easy. But we'll just use this for an example. See how they have this header line up here? You don't really need that for an opt-in page. So we're actually going to delete that entire block. Okay, and we're going to go over here where it says header, this piece. Sometimes to get rid of the header on some of these pages, and by the way, notice I'm doing all of my navigation over here in the left. Okay, so we can go into settings, trying to figure out how to turn off the header because sometimes you might have to actually go in and just delete all of the individual pieces. So I'm going to delete that block, and then we're going to go into the user menu and delete that block. Oh, that's weird. It put everything back. Okay, I'm not sure exactly why it's not letting us get rid of that, but we're going to move on for this and maybe it'll show up as we're playing around with some of this other stuff. In this main section for the opt-in, you're going to want to just put what it is you're offering. What is the free gift? And notice you can click on an item here that you want to edit, but then you have to do the editing over in the left column. So we're going to call this, let's make sure I spell your name right. So this is where you would put your lead magnet, whatever you're going to name it and what you're going to say about it. Okay, something weird is going on with my system. Okay, so I'm just going to throw in a little bit of silly text there. Okay, so this is your free gift that you're offering. You can go to the background of this and you can put in a video, you could put in an image, you can have a background color. Here's where you adjust your colors, and there's all types of color options here. You can click on your layout and you can actually drop the transparency. You can see there's already a photo behind there of a coffee mug and a laptop. We can take the transparency of the over color to reduce it so you can see more of the background. You want to find that balance between where you can see enough of the background but it doesn't make the text illegible. All right, so once you've got that selected, we click out of that. And so now you've got your image there, and we can tell it what we want it to say here now. So this isn't join a free trial. Let's say join my newsletter. So they're going to sign up for your newsletter, and we're going to say they're getting weekly insights and tips. Okay, so you're asking them to sign up for your newsletter, and every now and then you can click save to save, what we've got so far. And here now you notice there's nothing in the form. It says select a form. So remember when I just showed briefly about how you do your forms, you can actually, once you've created a form, you're now going to need to tell it which form that you're going to use here. So in this case, we've created a default form, which is simply going to ask for their name and their email. So we're going to tell it use the default form. Boom, it puts it in there. This could be a more extensive form if you want first name, last name, phone number, whatever form you create, you decide what you want to ask before they submit. And you can decide, by the way, too, in your forms, is it required or not required information? And then have them submit that. And then there's a thank you page. So we're going to not tell them the thank you page yet because we haven't built a thank you page for Sharice's offer, but we'll cover that in a moment. Now, on a squeeze page, my recommendation is we don't have any of this lower stuff. Literally, we can get rid of this entire section because we just want them to have the option to opt in. We don't need to tell them a whole lot of stuff. We probably told them most of the information before they even got to this page. And again, it's why I prefer to, just when I'm doing these types of pages, is just, make it all start from scratch almost, because look, they've got lots of different segments in here. If we go back to here, we can see this is our hero form. That's this piece up here. This is the FAQ grid. But let's say you don't want the FAQ grid. You can also just click on this segment here, the 3 dots, and we can delete it from here. And now this final call to action, we could delete it, or you could actually just hide it. Let's say you're toying with an idea, you don't know if you like it yet. You can just hide it for the moment so it's not in that form. And you can have your bottom menu as well there if you want to have anything with your perhaps your privacy rights or anything like that that you may want to show. So once that's all done, you save it. So now we've created a brand new opt-in page. That's how simple it is to do that. Now we go back.
Hey, Michael?
Yes.
Maria got kicked out and she wants to know if you'll let her back in.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, you're welcome. Yeah, sometimes those things slip through the cracks when I can't see all the little pieces in the screen. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So now that we've created this basic opt-in page, if you want, you can actually clone it to create your thank you page, because maybe you want the same general look and feel so that they feel like, oh yeah, it's still part of the same thing. So you just clone that page you just created, or maybe you want to create a variation. You want to go, you know what, I kind of like that one, but let me try a variation on it. You clone it and then just make some little tweaks. So this is now what we're going to call the thank you page. So now we're going to get rid of this piece over here. We're going to get rid of that block altogether, delete that block. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a section. And what we want to add is actually a, let's see, we're looking for a button that we want to put in here because we want people to actually get their download. Let's put in a call to action. Okay, so we click call to action. This is the kind of call to action it will create. Let's go ahead and add that. And we're going to edit this, and we're going to say one way could be just we hit download now. And we don't even need all this text underneath it. Just let them know this is where they're going to go to get their gift. Save. And then with the button, we tell what we want the button to say. Let's download immediately. And now instead of sending it to a URL, you can actually tell it download a file, and then you upload the file you want to give them. So that's how simple it is. You upload the file you want them to get access to, they download it, when they click it, boom, it gives them that file. All right. Now that's one button we might want to add there, but we might want to add another one. In which case we could go here and we could add more content to this particular one, and let's add another button, another call to action. Okay, and now over in this call to action, you could say, join my Facebook group. And that URL that you put in here would be the link to your Facebook group. And so now they'll download immediately and they'll also join your Facebook group. Make sense? And does that answer kind of what you were asking about, Charisse? How you could do more stuff here with the, once they've signed up?
Yeah, because I could put a calendar, like a scheduling link.
Exactly.
Into,
so this could
okay,
be book
cool.
a call with me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, this other link could be whatever you want. You could put your Calendly link there for the URL, then it'll go to your scheduler. It's so easy to do this. And I highly recommend, by the way, when you do set up your lead magnets, that once they opt in, it takes them to the thank you page where they can download immediately and give them that next call to action. I get so many more people joining my Facebook group because of having it on the thank you page, that now they get the free gift and then they can join into my group. All right, so Mary, you've got a question.
Yes, I have 2 free gifts. So can I put both in like the download now, or do I have to have a second button?
You could put them both in the same place. Well, wait a minute. If each one is a separate download, yeah, you would have to have, each one would have its own download. But then my question, bigger question for you would be, do you always offer them as a package, or do you, I would offer them separately. Why, is there a reason why you offer them together?
Well, it's, no, so it's a great question. And so I have a meditation that's an audio. I also have a that same meditation that's video. It's audio and video. So there's,
I mean, if you like to,
or should I keep them? Should I keep one separate for a future gift?
Well, right. So my thought would be to offer them individually. So you could say, hey, sign up for my free video meditation, click here. And then at another date, hey, sign up for my free audio here. And so they can be each their own separate gift. Some people may want one more than the other.
Okay,
and,
great.
And you can always offer both later too. You know, it's totally up to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
You got it. Okay, Dr. Pakunis.
I was able to mute myself there. Yeah, you know, my question is, how is it that we get on your Facebook group? And secondly, how is it that we book a call with you, Michael?
With me, or are you asking me specifically, or setting up a page to do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that we could join you in your Facebook group where it sounds like you answer questions there, or I misunderstood then.
No, you're fine. Let me just show you this. Okay, so I'm going to take you to another page. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share again here. Okay, so share screen. So as an example, this again is my website. So if someone clicks to download my free gift, okay, my free gift is the simple 5-step process to launch a rockin' podcast in 14 days. So if someone enters their name and email and they click give it to me, it's going to take them to a broken page. Hang on one second while I fix this. Okay, so this actually is really interesting because you were asking about whether or not you make the page has Kajabi in it. I switched. My page used to be yourauthorityblueprint.mykajabi.com, and then recently I created a custom domain for it. So now it's authorityacademy.net, and that ought to fix it. Boom. So I just got to fix that broken link there. So now this is where someone lands on after they've gotten my free gift. It says join our Facebook group and download the guide. So they can immediately download the guide and they'll join my Facebook group. Now when they click on join Facebook group, it's going to take them to my Facebook group I'd like them to join for my PodQuest Launch, Grow, Monetize Your Show. And then they click join. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we just Google your name or put your name in under Facebook search.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to join my list, so that's why I was wondering, is it the question of how, or is it that you really want to be on my list for questions? So I can give you a link here real quick. Let me just do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, oh wait, I just realized I can't do that because again, we don't have chat enabled in these calls. Go to my page, but don't do it until after the call because I'm gonna have to fix that broken link to make it work. And then go to michaelneely.com, sign up for one of my free gifts, and then you'll get access to that.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Caitlin.
I was just curious how you had the download now and the Facebook buttons next to each other. Do you think that that is a better way to market your Facebook group, or do you feel that it's like go to my Facebook group and once you're added then you get the free gift for adding yourself to the Facebook group?
I'll tell you my theory behind it. Now, I don't want to go against anything that Sage may teach you. I don't know what she teaches in this particular element, but my theory is this. Okay, this is my page again. They've already given me their name and email, and I'm sending them an email that will also invite them to download the free gift. So at this point, it's more important for me to get them in my Facebook group. You follow that logic behind that? That's why I put this first even and a little bit of a brighter color, because they're going to get the download regardless. They'll get it in an email, they'll get this. I want them now to join the Facebook group. Does that make sense? So it's up to you. What is your objective? What is your main objective or priority as you build stuff out? Now you may go, you know what? I don't want to confuse them with other stuff. Let me just give them the download. That's also fine. You know, it's really about your objective. My objective here is I want them in my Facebook group next, first and foremost. Make sense?
So your first objective is to get their email, to get the free gift, and then secondarily to join your Facebook group.
Yeah, so first step is get them to sign up for the free gift, which is you put in a free report somewhere, okay? And then when they click on that and join, then it's what is the next objective? So literally it's as they're moving through the process of your funnel, what action do you want them to take next, and how can you best move them towards that? Even if it's as subtle as putting Facebook before the download link. You know what I'm saying? So it could be real subtle stuff like that, but you really focus on what you want to have them do next.
Okay,
everybody with me on that?
So if you were to have them join your Facebook group to get a free download or a free gift, is there a way to link your Facebook group or some sort of something when they're joining your Facebook group to shoot you back to your Kajabi website or to an opt-in page or something?
Again, going from Facebook back to Kajabi could potentially be a little harder, or back to anywhere from Facebook, because Facebook likes it when people are there. They want to keep you there, really. And so you could potentially put a link in with the questions, or once they join it, you could have it on, you know, right in the first, what do they call that? Like a pinned post that says, hey, go to do this next. But keep in mind too that they've just opted in, so you now also have their email. And so other steps you can put in that welcome email that goes out to them simultaneously that has other actions you may want them to take. Like even in that email that goes out, I also remind them again to join the Facebook group in case they didn't while they were there.
Right.
Make sense?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, and Anne.
Good, thank you very much, Michael. Sorry, I missed part of this call. We had a little power outage, but I'm back online, so I might have missed if you went over this stuff. I'm looking into doing a mini course and maybe even a longer course on Kajabi, and I have set up a mini course. But I'd love to figure out how to set up a Facebook type of group community in Kajabi, as a part of that mini course or longer course. And I know, I was looking at Kajabi University and they said you can set up your community, but I'm not really sure what it looks like or how to do that.
Yeah, I personally don't use Kajabi for communities because as they're just kind of starting to try to make this work a little better. It's not nearly as functional as something like a Facebook community where people can share back and forth as easily. You can have, I do have like within all my programs there that people can leave comments below videos and or audio programs like within modules. You can certainly do that, but it's not going to have that same thing where like within Kajabi, or I'm sorry, within Facebook, if someone puts a post, it shows up in your feed. They don't have any of those really good features.
They don't have those yet. Okay.
No,
right.
yeah. So it's not.
I know a lot of my clients are maybe anti-Facebook or not Facebook people. And so I was trying to get a place where we could get a community type of thing going that's private and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's good as far as communication back and forth with you as the owner of the program. I'm constantly back and forth with people within Kajabi. As a matter of fact, there's times they're asking me stuff in Kajabi when I wish they were doing it in Facebook, because then the whole community could see it a lot easier. But I actually am fine going back and forth. But as far as, the rest of the people, it's hard to have that group tank. They're working on it. So,
all right, that's good to know. The other question I had was regarding, you had mentioned earlier when the call before I had popped off or got knocked off, about doing your podcast in Kajabi. And I know you can do video recordings directly to Kajabi, is that correct? And can you do it like a Zoom call where you could have two people, because I've been collaborating with a friend Yvonne in Houston and I'm in New Hampshire. And so it's nice to have us like on a Zoom that we can record together and either go right into a video recording that we can load onto Kajabi and on this mini course, but can we do it directly through Kajabi?
Well, yeah. So I want to be clear. Don't get me wrong on this one. Kajabi, you can do a podcast in Kajabi. No problem. You can put in media players. You can have it play all kinds of stuff. I actually run my summits in Kajabi, which are all, recordings. However, let me go back to...
The recordings, so they're not live. You can't do a live video.
No, there's no live stream capability within Kajabi. But just going back to my website again, here's why I prefer WordPress for a podcast. So this is my interview with Rika Zimmerman. You see this player I have down here. This is all very customizable. The buttons that are below it, all of this is because this is a plugin for WordPress that allows for a really cool player setup. So you can't do that as easily in Kajabi. And here it's just, bam, it's automated. Once that plugin is there, I just add the new stuff and all the rest is done for me. Kajabi, it's a lot harder. And so that's the only reason I say I wouldn't do a podcast in Kajabi.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And so I guess the same would be true for a vlog, like a video blog. Or is that just a recording that you could put up?
I mean, you could certainly do that in Kajabi. Again, it's a matter of, because I don't do vlogging, but I mean, if I were, I'd probably do that in Kajabi just fine because I don't know of any particular fancy stuff around it that would make it any different. again, when I do summits, I do them in Kajabi because it's really pretty easy for that type of stuff.
And that's just something that you have pre-recorded that they just, you know, it's a product that they buy. It's like a mini course, basically, is what a summit
and you
would
could
be.
plug it in with different tabs and modules and days and, you know, multiple interviews and videos. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it.
Right, that's awesome. I like that idea. That's
yeah,
perfect.
it's really cool.
Really
there are a
good
lot of
idea.
new summit softwares popping up, and I haven't found any of them that are as good yet as Kajabi. I'm hoping
You
at
can
some
just
point.
pre-record everything and put it in there and set
Yeah.
it up. Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I like that a lot.
Very easy
So
to
it's
do.
not a lot, you know, it's not the live, you don't get the chat going on, but
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
Right. Good, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, Mary, you've got a question.
I have a few, hopefully quick. Okay, so on your page where you have the two buttons, is there a way to set up in Kajabi? Because on some sites, you click a button and the original page disappears. Can I open up a new page?
Oh, open in a new page? Absolutely. Let me just do that, show that real fast. So what you do is when you're on that particular button, you notice there's a little tab right below it says open a new tab. You just select that and it'll open it in a new tab altogether.
Oh.
That's how easy it is. Done.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then you also, I just hired someone because I have an old website in WordPress, which they don't have that theme anymore.
Mhm.
And so I was going to have him forward to my new website in Kajabi. So are you recommending that I don't get rid of the old one? Or
No. I mean,
I'm just trying
Kajabi
to
is
downsize.
yeah, of course.
You know,
Kajabi is fine for a website, but if you're looking to have a podcast, I would say keep a WordPress site. It's just so much better for podcasters. There's so many great players and plugins and other stuff that makes it super valuable inside of a WordPress site. All right.
Okay.
That's if you're gonna have a podcast.
Yeah.
Or
right.
maybe you
Thank
have your
you.
podcast could have its own website. I've got 4 websites for my podcast because I have 4 podcasts. So each one gets its own
Oh.
website. So you could have your
Okay.
website, your main website could be Kajabi, and then you have a podcast website just for your podcast.
Okay. That
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
don't
and
want
you can-
I don't want the old one. It just feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's, you know.
Yeah, and you could always link those too. Like you could have a tab in your, you know, Kajabi site that says podcast, and when they click on that, it takes them to your WordPress site for that podcast, and then back to the
Perfect.
other.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. And then once my list is brought over into Kajabi, how do I send out emails? Like where can you?
Yeah.
I know you
let's go
showed us the
through.
email. Like once the list is over, is that active? Can I just start, or
It's
is there
active.
something
Yeah,
I need
you
to
can
do?
start right away. So let's go back into that piece. So let's get back out of this page, and let me just real quickly before I jump into the mailing part. Let me save this first. Save. Go back. And I just want to show you real quickly before we get out of here the features of these. So literally, this is our thank you page. You go to edit details, and I'm going to change the name. We can call it brand new opt-in. Well, let's call this brand new leads thank you page. So you just rename your page here. This is where you set the link for the page. So we could just call it thank you page, whatever you want it to be. Now notice here, women-rocking-business.mykajabi.com. If you make a custom link, a custom domain, it will change that. If you do it midstream like I did, you're going to start finding little broken links in places like we just discovered today. I'm so glad we found that. So you're going to want to make sure that you check around for broken links and stuff if you change it midstream, but why not get the custom domain right away? All right. So once that's done, you change the name of it, you save it there, and we go back here and you'll see we've got, go back to our pages, and we've got the brand new leads thank you page, the brand new opt-in. So all of that is now sitting here. Now let's go over to your question was about marketing, which is emails. So when you want to set up an email campaign, we go into here. There are 2 types of emails that you can send essentially. One is a broadcast. And again, what I said about a broadcast earlier is it is a one-time thing. It's like, boom, it might be a sale you've got going on. Hey, we're coming up on Halloween. Maybe you've got a Halloween sale. Maybe you've got a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, whatever that may be. So it could be just a broadcast for a sale. Or it could be a broadcast you're promoting JV partners. Or you could be promoting, say, hey, Sage's next event's coming up. Won't you join me? Whatever that may be. Then there's a sequence, which is a series of emails that you're going to want people to get in on. So let's start with just a broadcast. You click on broadcast, we click continue. And now we have some templates here. Again, if you have a particular styling that you like for your email, let's pick this one. We'll go to the bridge, get started. And we're going to call this welcome email. Create. Okay, now who's going to receive this broadcast? Now remember, this is a broadcast, so it's sending it out to a large group. And you can tell it who's going to receive it. All people, members, masterclass people. Like, you can create different groups based on tagging or other stuff. Like everybody who bought my course, I'm going to send an email to them. Everybody in my entire list, I'm going to send it to all people. So let's start with all people. This is going to be sent to 2 subscribers because, again, this is just our playlist. There's only 2 of us in here. You can preview your recipients. Here it is. It's Ashley and me. We can hide the preview. And now we go save and continue. So all people are going to get this email. And now we enter the subject line. Welcome to my list. We can set up some preview text. The preview text, by the way, is for some people's email platforms. It'll show a little bit, below, like a little, just a snippet of what you might want them to hear about about them joining. So we'll just put that in there, and then we can go in, and here's our email editor. And now we can launch the email editor. And this now allows us to change stuff up here. We can change the photograph, we can scroll down, we can change the text, we can change the call to action. Whatever you want to do, you make the email look the way you want it to look. Then you click save. We go back to the welcome email. So now this email is all done. So we're going to click save and continue. And now we decide, do we want to send it right now, or do we want to send it at a specific date and time? Let's say we're setting up a broadcast to go out next week while you're on vacation. So you could set a specific date and time. We'll tell it 10/22, go to the calendar here, set it up to go out next week, and we can tell it to go out at 6 o'clock a.m. There we go. So it's going to go out at 6 o'clock a.m. 1 week from today. And we click confirm. And now this broadcast is scheduled to go out. And you can see this right here, scheduled for October 22nd. That's how easy it is to do. Now, if you want to do a campaign, let's go over that real quickly. A sequence, they call it here. Let's go for an email sequence. And let's call this indoctrination. Continue. And this is going to be a series of emails now. And you tell it when. So someone has just signed up. This one's going to go out on day 1. Welcome aboard. Okay. Text message, whatever the message is going to be right here. Copy that in. Not a text message, but the text of your message. We save that. So that's going to be the first email. That's day 1. Now we're going to add another email to it. This is going to go out day 2. Did you like the gift? Maybe that's the subject line of it. I hope you downloaded and enjoyed it. Whatever message you want to put in there, hopefully will be spelled correctly, unlike my little typos there. And we click save. So now that's email 2 going out on day 2. Now you notice here we got welcome aboard day 1. Do you like the gift? Day 2. Add a new email. This one's going to go out on day 3. Now we're cooking. And by the way, in your indoctrination sequence, you want to make these emails exciting for them to open. When you sign up for my list for my Zero to Launch podcast training, I send a series of 7 emails, and each day is a different way to monetize your podcast for 7 straight days. Day 1 monetization method, here's what you do. Day 2, here's another way to monetize your show. Here's how you do it. And so it gets people wanting to open your emails during this first week. So now they're getting to know you, they're getting to like you, they're getting to want your emails because you're giving them more value. That's all part of your indoctrination sequence. All right. And so however you complete up that sequence, and then that sequence is done. So now you have an indoctrination campaign in there in your campaigns. In this case, 3 emails over 3 days. Like I said, mine is 7 emails over 7 days. And you got a welcome email. So that's how you set up your emails. Make sense? All right. Tina.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So I've been on a trial for like 3 weeks on Entreport and built out a landing page and a checkout page and all that. I'm learning some really funky things with it, just from a user interface standpoint that's a little bit clunky.
And did you say Entreport? You said Entreport. Did you mean Kajabi?
Entreport. No, Entreport.
Entreport,
This is
okay.
why
Just
I'm
wanted to
on
be sure.
this Kajabi call, because I haven't actually made a final decision yet.
Gotcha.
And it seems to me that Kajabi is really much more like wrapped up in terms of the sequences, you know, and a little bit simpler, and they have great templates. I think that's like, you know, probably, it seems like with Entreport, you can customize a bit more. That's the sense that I'm getting. So like, for example, this email sequence you just went over, is that a part of automations? Like, can you take an automation template in Kajabi and just like fill in the email content in the automation template?
The automation, let's go over, well, she doesn't have automations in this account. So, but let me show you a way that you can. It's the mid-level structure gives you a little bit better automation, but is minor automation you could do even in the basic plan. So let's talk about that for a moment. So let's say at this welcome email, we're going to go in here and we're going to edit this. Wait, how do we edit that email? Let's go back to this. I actually want to, you know what, let's start with a fresh one so it'll be a little easier.
Do you know what I'm asking though? If there's, are there already
I think I do.
templated funnels? Like opt-in, here is like the whole funnel. And
yeah, like when you create a pipeline, there are some templated, they call them pipelines here in Entreport, they're called campaigns. I do think they're a bit more robust and easier in Entreport, quite honestly, but they work, both of them work just fine.
They just launched this thing called Systems.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, so if you want to opt into, you know, have an opt-in funnel, then basically just plop in your images. And, you know, I'm not crazy about the templates, quite honestly. It's like wrangling with them a little bit.
Yeah, the pages aren't as pretty in Entreport, but the coordination of stuff is so super easy over there. So let's look at this. So now if, let's say you send a broadcast email here, you can click save and continue. And notice down here at the bottom, there's an automation. So after this email goes out, even in the basic plan, you can add some simple automation here. When this broadcast is opened, then do what? You can add a tag, you can remove a tag, you can send them another email. So those who opened it get another email. Or you could change this. It doesn't have to be when it's opened. You could say when a link in it is clicked.
Okay.
Then what do you want it to do? So there is some basic automations that you can do in the chain of events within Kajabi that are pretty cool. Again, being a user of both, my whole business is run on those two things, really.
Yeah.
I like them both equally well. They've each got their own strengths and they play well together.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is from a matter of speed. Like I like a pre-built template where I could just drop in my stuff and do a little bit of customization. Do you think Kajabi does a good job of that? Do they like, you know, I would probably be in the level 2. I would subscribe to the growth
Growth plan.
platform, just from a you know, need standpoint. But basically, what I'm asking is, are there templates already pre-filled?
Yeah,
set
so let's
up
go
or
in
not?
here and look at. So here's their templates for a pipeline.
Okay.
And Kajabi and Entreport has similar thing with their pre-filled campaigns. But let's say you go in here and you want to do a simple sales page. Okay,
Right.
so you create the pipeline,
Yeah.
and it's gonna, you know, choose the offer that you wish to sell. So in this case, we'd have to pick an offer. Let's go Ashley's motivations, generate pipeline.
So it'll just walk you through the steps, and you just plop in the content.
We'll see. I don't use them for this, so we're about to find out.
Okay. You do it. You use Entreport for it.
I
then.
use Entreport. Yeah, I love the campaign system in Entreport. The other thing that I love about Entreport's campaign system is it tracks the numbers real time and where people are in that sequence.
Oh, funnel. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. I don't know. I mean, maybe Kajabi can do certain elements like that here. So here's the sales page, and here's the checkout, and you can add an automation, and then they reach the end of the pipeline. And so you could, and it looks like they have some way to view stats in here. Well, it's not as comprehensive. It'll tell you your conversion rate, total revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look like, but let's see. Well, maybe let's look at stats. No. What I like about a campaign in Kajabi, I'm sorry, in Entreport is and I've built some big campaigns in Entreport after just doing, like when you do a big launch, that's a big campaign, and it'll tell you where people, like I've got, 5,000 people are sitting here waiting until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Then they're going to go here, and then you can do conditional statements that say, if they click on this link, send them here, and if they don't, send them here. And it's so much more robust in Entreport.
Right, it's more complex.
It's more complex.
It's more complex too.
But when you're doing a big launch, you may need that complexity.
Okay. So here's my other question. I like it because of the scalability option of it. My other question is, on either of these platforms, am I going to have better SEO hosting some of these pages on their sites? Am I going to have better SEO?
Well, SEO is hard to say. As a matter of fact, I don't look at either of them for SEO. What I really look at them for is what's called deliverability, which is with your email. Yeah. So I do like the deliverability I get with Entreport. I feel like it's pretty good. I love that aspect of it. I really don't use it, Entreport pages per se, for SEO. That would be more like my website. Kajabi potentially would be SEO because, you're building a lot of pages, which may be standalone pages, or you might even build your whole website there. But I don't really use it for that, so I'm not super familiar with their SEO qualifications there. But I do know they have settings for it. So let me just show you real quickly here. If you go into a page, and so let's go to the stats on one of these pages we just built as a sampler, and we go into edit the details. And you see down here, it has some SEO information. So you can set a page title, page description, so it does give you a little bit more oomph behind it if you want to make it a little more SEO friendly. I don't think they have that in the Entreport pages, but I don't really use Entreport pages as much anyway.
Right. Yeah. God, there's so many things that are, okay, so deliverability is better, and you think from either platforms?
I think Entreport has a little bit better deliverability right now. And then, of course, it's going to vary from person to person depending on how well you keep your list cleaned up.
I mean, I'm coming from Constant Contact and cultivating a list, and now I have like 3,500 people, but like it's not a clean list. I probably have to get rid of
maybe do a little bit. Yeah, you might even want to run a re-engagement campaign before you go, or something like that.
Right. And, they're like, I don't know, a lot of my emails end up just sitting in their junk box.
Yeah.
Constant Contact. So I'm wondering if Entreport or Kajabi is better with that.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I would, recommend doing a real good list cleaning first, do a re-engagement campaign, see if you can get more out of the junk box, which also, by the way, that's part of in setting up an indoctrination sequence. Just a little side note for everybody. In your indoctrination sequence, when people first sign up to your list, that earliest email, and sometimes even the welcome email, you want to ask them to whitelist your email so that it gets into their inbox.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Very important to do. And if they are opening your emails regularly right away, we'll help you as well as far as your deliverability score. All these other elements will go up.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Jen.
Hey, so I'm kind of like on the opposite end of Tina. So for someone, or in a way, for someone who's just kind of starting out, I was looking at MailChimp and feeling like, of course, Kajabi has all these features, and I get that, and I understand that it's so valuable. And I mean, then there's Entreport. But I'm wondering, when is when would you suggest is when to make the jump, right? Because obviously MailChimp doesn't have what Kajabi has, right? It's like $100 less for just the entry. Level.
I started with Aweber years ago when I first started, and I made the jump as soon as I decided to grow my list, because a lot of these smaller platforms, the tagging is not very good. The list control is not as flexible. And so I left, probably after about 6 months of having it within Aweber, and then I jumped into Entreport. So it's really sometimes list size. And the other thing is cost wise, because, Entreport and Kajabi, it's everything right there. And so that was the other piece is I had my Aweber, but then I'm like, well, I also need landing pages. So I was paying for lead pages. And then I'm like, well, now I need a place to house my online course. And so there's Kajabi, and they didn't have the CRM at that point. There was no email within Kajabi. So then I was paying for that. And then I'm like, well, gosh, I need a checkout page and a shopping cart. And I didn't want to sign up for one shopping cart. It was so expensive. I'm like, well, why don't I just get Entreport, get rid of lead pages, get rid of Aweber, not have to pay one shopping cart. I've got it all right there. So it's really a matter of how much can you save truly by having a one-stop shop.
And then on that note, I know MailChimp is starting to do things like what Planoly does and social media planning. Do they do that at all? Can you do that through Kajabi?
No. I actually use a service, also not a cheap one, which is called Meet Edgar.
Oh.
MeetEdgar.com. And what I love about Meet Edgar is it is super freaking robust. It's expensive in that it's $49 a month, but you can schedule and you don't have to redo posts every time. You can put them in a queue, and let's say you created a really cool meme that was popular. Well, now you want that meme to go out once every 2 months. Well, you can program it to do that without you having to go in and reset it. And so it'll go through a rotation, you set schedules, and it'll link to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all of your social media accounts, multiple pages, and you schedule how they're going to go out. It's super robust.
Are you talking about for your story, let's say, for Instagram, or just as a post?
It'll do all of it, yeah, within Meet Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah, really cool program for that. But yeah, Kajabi, Entreport, they don't really do that.
Okay. And I just wanted to clarify, I know I asked this question before, but I could just use Kajabi for my website platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, Angela.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a question about email. So I have a few different businesses, and sometimes I'm sending them out from different businesses or with different platforms. So can you customize that, or how do you customize that? I'm assuming.
Let's see. So typically, and this is just all boils down to a legal issue really, and that is that you should have, when your emails go out, there's a requirement by law that it has a send from that needs to be kind of verified. You can change it within Kajabi, but changing back and forth a lot is probably not good. It's also a pain in the butt. So it's actually one of the pieces in the settings in here. So when you go into your settings, let's see, I think it's in here as marketing settings. We'll double check here. So the name of the company, the address, all of those things, some of those are legal, like you're required to put that in there. In your email settings, where it's sending it from. You can go in and change some of this, but you would have to go in manually and change it with each time. You can't say, send these from this, send these from that kind of a deal.
So once I set that up, I send one out and I'm going to send another one. I have to go back. Like, it's just, I really have one email.
Well, let me be real clear though. What is it that you really want to change? Like the from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like who it's coming from. So it might say this one says it's coming from Angela, but the other one might say it's coming from
Nourishing Change or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just do a real quick test here to see if that is something that is changeable within here. In Entreport, I know I can change it on the fly.
Okay.
Like with each email, I could say send it from a different place if I've already got it preset. So that's in Entreport. I know I can do that. I don't know about in here. Okay, so all people. Okay, so we know we can control who it's going to. Internal title, subject, preview, launch email editor. Let's see if it gives us an opportunity in this section. Yeah, it does not look like it does. See, it automatically even is going to fill in all of your unsubscribe settings from those other pieces I was just telling you about, because legally you need to have certain elements, are supposed to be at the base of each email. And by the way, it's actually a good thing when a provider does this, because this is actually what keeps the deliverability better, is because the provider is following the law as far as the Anti-Can Spam Act or whatever that is called. Let's see. Let's see if we can change anything in settings here. Nope.
So I guess maybe it's from, like, if I have set up different courses that people can sign up, so that if I send out email reminders from it, it's still got to be the course from me. I just have two companies and they're both legal. I just need to know. It would be so nice to have it all under one.
Right. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think what would happen is it's going to send it out anyway from your email at whatever the Kajabi address is there.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think it's changeable within that framework without going into your settings and changing it before, if you wanted it to be different for a particular email.
Okay. Okay. And even with website, like if I set up, I can have multiple websites, different URLs and all that, but that won't generate another email.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. So
Yeah.
Entreport I can, but this one I can't.
Yeah, this one is a little harder with that respect. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But let me tell you this. Let's go into, check out Kajabi pricing here. See, again, I've been with Kajabi for so long, I'm considered in the founding member piece. So I actually have the Pro plan. And notice in the Pro plan, you get multiple websites. And so literally, you could change within sites to one of the others and then do it from there. Yeah.
Okay.
So then each site has its own email address system.
Okay.
That makes sense?
So if I have, okay. And so if I have a WordPress site, but I create another website through Kajabi, I could potentially have two then?
Yeah, you could create like up to 3 within here. Now, it is their more expensive plan at $319 a month if you pay annually. But for me, I mean, and actually because I was grandfathered in, I've got 10.
Wow.
And I actually use 6 of them. So yeah, there's a lot you can do within it,
Okay.
you know, at this level.
Okay, that's helpful. I can look at that. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. And Tracy. You're muted.
Sorry.
No worries.
So I want to set up 2 landing pages right away. Do I have to have an URL for that? I'm a little bit confused. I ultimately want a separate web page that has my domain that I bought. So when we're doing the URL or the domain for those landing pages, we would just have a Kajabi URL for that.
Well, two options that you have. What is your other site that you're talking about? Is it WordPress?
No, I haven't made it yet, but I bought a domain through GoDaddy.
Okay. Are you planning to make it in WordPress or in Kajabi?
I have no idea yet.
Okay. So within Kajabi, if you use the domain that you bought and you make it that custom domain, this would switch from whatever, what's the name of your business?
Lifestrong Today.
Lifestrong Today?
Correct.
Okay, so yours might be lifestrongtoday.mykajabi.com, but what's the website you just bought, the domain?
It's Lifestrong Today.
Okay, so it could become lifestrongtoday.com, and forget the mykajabi, you use your custom domain here, and that links your website to this, like they're now married, okay? You could do that, or what you could do is what I do a lot of times is I would go to, let's go to my website. I'm going to share this page. If you have a WordPress site, there is a service, another plugin, again, why I love WordPress, there's a service called Pretty Links. And with Pretty Links, I can actually take a WordPress, here's an example, my Kajabi referral link. Okay, you guys were asking for Sage's Kajabi referral link. I can actually take a Kajabi link, put it in here. So whatever page I create in Kajabi is going to have its URL. I could put it in here, and why is it not showing here? Let me pick a different one because this one does not seem to be showing. You could put it in here, and then you can give it whatever name you want. So in this instance, let me find another one that is a Kajabi link. Here we go. 5 Key Summit Objectives Free Guide. So I could create this list to say, go to Michael. Why are these not showing? Something is very odd with this page here. Normally these would be showing up, and for some reason they're not. The pretty link would be michaelneely.com/objectives. And someone would type that in, but when they do that, it would take them to my Kajabi page. Is that making sense, what I'm saying? So literally the Kajabi URL becomes a little bit irrelevant. It's because it's where is your page going to send them?
Okay, I guess my question is even more basic. When we are doing the landing pages, I don't want to use the GoDaddy domain that I bought, correct, for my landing page?
Why not?
That's because I would save that for the more robust website later on.
Well, okay, so right. So let's be real clear about this. A domain is a domain, okay? So, my domain, michaelneely.com. Now, that is my domain. But now from that, I could have michaelneely.com/ and then I could give any of thousands of different page names after the / mark. The domain is still michaelneely.com. Now the michaelneely.com homepage is michaelneely.com. So that's this page. The / then becomes anything I add after that.
So then I would use the / and whatever for my landing page.
Exactly.
Got it.
So it could be michaelneely.com/free gift, michaelneely.com/thank you, whatever you want it to be beyond that.
Got it.
As a matter of
fact,
thank you. Yeah. And by the way, just as an example, so this is my homepage here that we're looking at. This is all it just posts my podcast episodes, kind of like a blog post would be. But if you wanted to find the individual page, let's use Rika's as an example, it would be michaelneely.com/Rika-Zimmerman. And if someone then goes to that actually takes me to the page, which is her episode entirely. And notice that the difference is here, it goes down to the next episode. But on her page with her individually, there's a place where people can comment below. It's got sharing messages. It's a different, this is the page for Rika Zimmerman's episode.
That's huge. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, let's see. Next up is Elena.
I think I have very simple question, and I apologize if it's stupid question.
No stupid questions. I may have stupid answers though.
Where do we park actual gift? If I created a new gift and I created a landing page for that gift in Kajabi, but where do I park the actual gift?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go back. I'll share
And
this.
I have a WordPress site, by the way, if it's relevant.
Yep. Okay, so WordPress site. So let's say on your WordPress site, this is my site. If people sign up for my free gift, they click on download now. Okay, they sign up. Oh, that's right. I'm going to have to fix this page again. Okay, so again, because I switched to the custom domain, I have to change your authority blueprint to authorityacademy.net, because that is the custom URL, the domain that I purchased and then made a custom domain within Kajabi. Now in Kajabi, this download the guide, they click on that and it downloads it directly from Kajabi. It is stored in Kajabi, the way I showed you guys a moment ago. And I'll show you again. Okay, we're going to stop this share and I'll quickly go over to the Kajabi page. Okay, within Kajabi, when you go to a thank you page like this one that we're on, this is the brand new leads thank you page. And let's go to customize it. Wherever you put that download now button within Kajabi, let's take this a little second here, download immediately. You tell it, here's the text for it, download immediately. You would say, give them the download a file. Now you upload that file. So you upload it, you tell it which file you want to put in there. I could say choose a file. It's going to look in through my stuff. Let's put in, I'm just going to put in a Word document here. Let's open that. It's uploading that Word document. Done. Now whenever someone clicks download immediately, it's going to download that file for them.
So it's stored in Kajabi.
In Kajabi.
Perfect.
Yep, quick and easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Not a stupid question at all. All right, let's see. Next up, looks like, gotta switch back. Kathy.
Hi.
Hi.
If anybody is thinking about doing Kajabi, I'm just going to say to jump in because it's the only way that you will learn this. And I'm launching a summit on Monday, and I started working on it about 3 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, I am building the plane as I'm flying it. So I don't know if I can share my screen to show you what I've set up, but I would just love it if you could take a look at it and see if there are glaring steps that I've missed.
Sure, I will make you the co-host. And you should now be able to share your screen.
Okay. So it's called the Healers of the World Summit. And this is the membership site. You know, I have a VA.
So they've already opted in at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can show you the opt-in page, I thought. So this is what they would get for when I have the link to the free access. There's also another link to a $47 access. And, you know, they just give me their email and they
Okay,
create
this still
them.
isn't the opt-in page though, is it?
No, it isn't. Let me find that.
It'd probably be up under website. And then go to pages.
Oh. There we go.
Okay, there are your days. Yeah, that's all good.
There.
Okay, and then click on preview.
That's not right. So maybe that's one of my first issues.
Yeah, first step is you're gonna want a good opt-in page. And by the way, just I also teach summits, and one of the things you're gonna want on that opt-in page is you're gonna want a video opt-in page. I highly recommend video, just having you expressing, hey, this is gonna be an amazing summit, talking about your guests. You're gonna have a list of your guests showing. You're gonna wanna have the opt-in above the fold. Just sign up now, first name, email, make it simple to get as many opt-ins as you can. And remember, that's all of your summit participants are going to be driving traffic to that page.
Right.
And I'm guessing too, Kathy, that you're set up with an affiliate program within there. So you're going to give everybody affiliate links.
Yep.
Cool.
I have them set up for that. But this was what went into the email that we sent out.
Yeah, so that's when someone, because notice how it's got the password piece here. That's for someone who's really already signed in. You don't want somebody creating a password just as an opt-in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So this is fine. So now they've opted in. So now they come back here and they're going to sign in. Okay.
And then I believe I have it linked to a email once they accept the free access to then get the $47 access.
An email within Kajabi?
Yes.
Did you set up a pipeline in Kajabi for the flow of this?
Yes.
So go to your Kajabi and show me your pipeline.
Well, that's not it. Let me go back.
Go to that Kajabi right above there. Yeah, just hit that Kajabi. Looks like it's in your admin. So now go down to marketing and pipelines. Okay, so it's this one. Here's the World Summit. So they have an opt-in page. Okay, go to the pipeline overview. This is your opt-in page? Okay, wait a minute. No, this is fine. So let's see if it's got the page there.
And then I just tell them about it and then get your pass. There it is.
Yeah, well, just basic training in general marketing. You want to have that opt-in up top.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would put that up closer to the top, even beside, side by side with some text or a video. Again, this is your chance to get people to join in. Because remember, here's step one. You always got to think of things, and Kajabi is great with this, but you have to think of things in customer journey. So remember, all of your partners, all of these guest experts for the summit are going to be sending out an email, which you've provided them with good swipe copy. And in that email, there's going to be a link. And so the swipe copy was good enough to get people to click on that link, and that link is taking them to your opt-in page. So they're already half sold on it, by the way, okay? If they click the link, they're interested. So don't put any blocks to them completing the action. Make it nice and simple right up top. They may not need to read anything. Let them jump right in. The more you talk, the better chance they have of maybe not. So put it right up top, get them while they're hot. Then, and that's also why it's good to have a video there of you saying, hey, this is going to be an amazing summit. We got some wonderful guests lined up. Join now. It's absolutely free. Click here, get in. Also, if this is your main page still that you're on, okay, I would not do any selling in this page, period.
Oh, really?
The thank you page after they've opted in. So for step one, they opt in, get that opt in. That's the main thing, is grow your list massively. Now the thank you page is where you do the upsell. Congratulations, you've taken an amazing first step. This summit, Healers of the World Summit 2020, is going to be phenomenal. You're going to get so much out of it. And I also want to share with you a special one-time offer. Right now, you can own these summit recordings and get blah, blah, blah. So that is on the thank you page, which kind of leads to the upsell. But don't mention it before the opt-in. Again, you don't want to create any hindrance in this first page.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
Totally. Thank you.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Whew.
So there's a few things I would tweak a little bit about it.
Okay.
And then your delivery, and I do have a question on your delivery,
Mhm.
is go back to your main page, hit your pipeline overview. And this, by the way, is also important for any of you because this also has to do with, no, you were on the right page, the tab. Go back to the same browser tab. Nope, one more over. Second browser from the,
Yeah.
there you go. Just hit your pipeline overview, up, the word pipeline
Oh,
overview.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, that'll take you back one. Now hit it again for pipelines.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to go back up to website and then click on pages. What it looks like for your setup, and this is important for all of you, I like to try to make this training kind of cover the gamut so that it'll relate to everybody. You've got all of your pages for your individual interviews with the summit set up here.
Hmm.
The challenge with the way they're set up here as pages,
Yeah.
they're not protected. Okay, they're not behind any form of a password protected firewall, which means anybody with that link can get in without opting in. All right, I want everybody to get this because as you set up a course and pages, and when you're setting up a summit, I recommend you make them part of a program. Go to products, create your summit as a product.
Hmm.
That now people have to get that offer and then they get a password. And now with the password, once they've opted in, they're given the password. Now they can get access to all of those summit recordings for whatever time you make them available.
But isn't that what the membership site is?
Well, product, membership site, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But right now you have your recording sitting in standalone pages.
Oh. How can
There's
I
no
transfer
protection.
that? How can I transfer that?
I don't know that you can do it from here. You need to go into product. So this will be a good opportunity. Let me actually share my screen and we'll go into how to set up a product.
Okay.
Does this work for everybody? And let's quickly, as I'm doing that, Tatina and Jade have questions. So Tatina, go ahead.
Mine's a really quick one. I'm still at basics. If I were to set up a website through Kajabi, can I set up an email address from that website too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. The domain, whoever you buy your domain from is the controller of emails.
Okay.
So if you buy your domain from GoDaddy, you can set up email with GoDaddy through that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. And then Jade.
Hi there. I think my question's pretty quick too. And you've touched a little bit, but just to clarify for me, so I have a website on Squarespace, and I use MailChimp at a very basic level, but I'm obviously taking steps to grow all of it. And my question is around, so here's my website. I have a domain that I bought through Google Domains. And now I have a website with Squarespace. I need to make some tweaks to that website, and I do want to create like more of a landing page with a different opt-in than I have on my website. And so I could, try to do that within Squarespace. But I've also heard Sage recently say that she has womenrockingbusiness.com and she has like sagelevine.com. And so I guess my question is around anything you want to share around the Squarespace world, but also if I were to jump into Kajabi, there's two things I'm curious about. One is, would I like recreate my website now with that same domain, or could I just have my name like jadegroff.com as my Kajabi website? That's one question. And then the second question is around, is Kajabi something like if I want to create, I get that there's like a membership thing that comes with Kajabi, but let's say I'm hosting a 3-month online course for people, and we have, I want to have a place where they can go for maybe handouts, or like if I need some kind of portal for them, is that like a perk of Kajabi?
That's
Is that
Kajabi's powerhouse. That's what they first
okay?
were. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
the main reason to have Kajabi right there.
Okay.
So let me answer your question about the domain piece. If
Yeah.
you have Jade Groff as a domain, if you own that domain, then that could be your Kajabi domain.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought it and then you want to use the custom domain, or you could just use jadegroff.mykajabi.com as part of it. If you don't want to use the custom domain feature, your name could still be part of it over there.
Okay.
Okay, either way. So I'll cover kind of your question about the membership piece as we go through this part that also covers the summit thing. So,
okay.
Oh,
crap.
That asked me to upgrade the account. Hold on. We don't want to upgrade her account. Let me go back. The reason it's asking that is because on the basic account we've got set up for this one is we've set it up for this play account. It's only got the basic with 3. So we're just going to delete one of these online courses.
So a basic account, and I'm sorry if you've said this before, but a basic account would be something that I could use for like all the ways I use MailChimp with email, landing page, and I could also have like a portal for a class and
membership
a website.
Site, classes, yes. Now in the basic, you are limited to 3 products. I highly recommend anybody doing Kajabi, you might as well go for the growth plan. It's not that much difference. For $40 more, you get up to 15 products, 15 pipelines, 25,000 contacts, 10,000 active members, and 10 admin users. For that extra $40 a month, it's far and away worth it. All right. So I do highly recommend that you go for that one. The other piece that's super important at this level is you get their affiliate program. You're not going to be able to do any JV partnerships at the basic program. So you might as well upgrade to this, and you get the advanced automations. So again, $40 more, worth its weight in gold. All right. So now setting up a program here. So we're going to go new product, and we're going to set this up as a summit, but there's so much that applies with a summit that would apply to anything. All right.
Michael, can I just, before you go into that, ask one more clarifying thing around the domain piece? Does it make sense, or is it confusing if I have kind of, my website now is, I would say, like more of a brochure style website. I have some products that I actually sell, like herbal medicine type things on my website, and the rest of it's very brochure, like sharing what I do.
Yep.
Is it confusing or whatever to have like that Squarespace website and then have like the Jade Groff domain on Kajabi that would be maybe more like the classroom?
The only confusing part would be is if you confuse your clients, if then they don't know where to go. So I have michaelneely.com, which is my main site, but I also have podquest.net, which is more of my podcasting stuff. I also have yourauthorityblueprint.com, which is more of my live event stuff. So I have different ones that kind of keep separate, but my main focus one is michaelneely.com. And quite honestly, and I don't know if Sage has told you guys this much or not anyway, but most people in our industry will tell you that your website is not where you get most of your business. You know, I get my business from live speaking. I get it from my podcasts. You know, my website's not my main attractive thing. So I don't even, my websites need a major overhaul. So don't let that worry you too much.
Okay. Don't get too caught up with. Okay,
exactly.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
You bet. So we're just going to start from scratch here because that's the easiest for what we're going to do. And so we're going to give the name of this product. We're going to call it the World Healing Summit. But by the way, what we're doing, we're creating this as a summit, but this could be any course or membership site you wanted to create. Okay, the format is kind of the same, the skeletal structure, if you will. Then it's a matter of how do you add the flesh to it. Okay, so within your product outline, you're going to have categories and posts. That's the bottom line of it. Now, in the case of a summit, we're going to change this blank category, and we're going to call this day 1. So this is day 1 of your summit. All right, done. Save that. And now it's got a post within it that's called blank post. We're going to call this post guest 1. Okay, so there's day 1, guest 1, and we're going to save that. Now, by the way, while we're in here with day 1, guest 1, look at this. We can add the video of that guest. Okay, so if you've recorded a video with them, you would upload their video right here. So that's day 1, guest 1. And if you have any copy about them, you could put guest bio, guest free offer, all of that will be right below their video structure. Now, if this is a course, this could be module 1. It's interchangeable. Okay, you get to decide. It's the post and whatever you want to put. Now, if you were asking about, can we use it to give out the handouts and stuff like that? Sure. You just add a download to it. We're going to choose a file. We're going to upload my show intro, outro, basic script. It uploads, done, boom. That download is now available, sitting right there when people go to this first piece. All right, we're going to set it to published. We're not going to add a video because it takes a while to upload those. And this is guest 1, day 1, save. All right, now we go back here to the World Healing Summit. And here we've got day 1, guest 1. Now we want to add another category. And we're going to call this day 2. So now it's built out a second category. But these could just as easily be module 1, module 2. We could add another guest. If day 1, we're going to have multiple guests, well, this could be guest 2. And actually, I would, by the way, use their names, who that guest is, so that you'll know. And let's say we had a third one. We could add another one, and we could just use in the name. Let's say I was a guest on the summit. It'd be Michael Neely. Save. All right. Then we go into that post. We could upload my video. We could put info about Michael. Michael's free gift. We could add another downloadable if you wanted to, whatever you might want to do. We set it to published, not draft. While you're working on it, you would keep it in draft mode. All right, now we go back out here again. Okay, that is my reminder of I have to end by 10 minutes for my next client. So then we go into here and we set up posts for day 2. And let's say we interview Sage Levine on day 2. We save that. And now we add another post and we put in an interview with Megan Neely. We save that. So this is how, and I've run my summits through here. So this is how I would set them up based on each day, who are the guests for that day. Notice none of these are published yet. You can actually click on this and just switch it to published real fast with just your box there, go from draft to published. And by the way, when you're doing your summit, you could, especially if they're pre-recorded and you're not doing it live, you could have every interview set here, but don't publish it until the day that it's supposed to go live.
Michael,
Everybody
can I
with
ask
me
you
on
about
that?
that?
Pardon?
Can I ask you about that?
Sure.
So can people see what's in the membership site when it's when you click published? Then
If they're a member.
If they're a member, okay.
Only if they're a member. So now here's the next thing we do. We can set it to free. We can create an offer for this. Now what you're going to have to do, and this is uniquely different to Kajabi. Again, you know, teaching people how to do summits, you have to do a little bit of a workaround. There's no perfect summit platform, but Kajabi is about as good as it gets. Once you've created your free version of this summit, so let's say you end up, you know, you've got 4 days, and I don't want to go too heavily into summit because, you know, not that many of you are probably doing summits right now. But let's say you know, we add a day 3 here, save that. We'll go ahead and publish it, and we're going to add a guest or 2, add post, Jade Groff, she's going to be interviewed, and add another one, and add Tatina Van Horn. Oh, didn't do it right. June boom. Okay. So this may be, you know, your summit. So now once you've got that all done, so now the summit is done, and right now it's set as free. Okay. We would actually go to create an offer for it. But let's go back to products, and now when the summit is done, I'm going to have to delete another one of these here. Delete that. Delete. So now we would take this summit that was fully complete. Everything is uploaded. Everything is done. This is the free version of the summit. Everybody who signs up gets access to this. They're still going to have to sign up with their password because you don't want to just give it to somebody who didn't opt in for it. Now we're going to click on these little 3 dots here, and we're going to clone it. Okay, and we're going to make this the paid version. And the difference is that you want to be careful of, and this is why I like doing summits in Kajabi, is the unpaid version. One, I want to make it where they can't download anything. And then stuff goes away after 48 hours, whatever time limit you set for every interview. And in the paid version, it does not go away and they can download it. So that's the real variation in it, is this one is free. Plus, usually when you're doing a paid version of the summit, you'll throw in some bonuses. Well, you might have a bonus tab that you'll add to the paid version, where it's how they collect their bonuses, that the non-paid version doesn't get. And so with setting them up as a product, people can only get them after they've paid. Even if it's free, they've still signed up for it as free, and they have to log in with a password. They're sent a username and password, and now they can access it only through that. All right. Similar if this was a course. If you set it up as a membership course, you know, people could go into here, and we'll go in and let's just preview this, or not preview it, but go in and edit it. So here's your core training. Welcome to your membership portal. Here's core lessons 1, 2, and 3. You can also drip the content. So someone signs up, they get these immediately, but they're not going to get these till 3 days later. And you can actually control the number of days for the drip. In this case, we could say 7 days if we wanted to, but we're going to leave it at 3. Okay, so the drip sequence comes into play here. The resources, you can put so much in here. We've set this price as someone could get it free, but they might pay $197. You may have a free version of it that you give as a bonus, but other people you may charge for it. Everybody following me on this? Okay, so I'm going to jump real fast to get to answer some questions, because we're down to 5 minutes, and literally I do have an absolute hard stop. Angela. Are you muted still? You're muted.
Sorry, I got thrown off somewhere else. Quick question. I have a Teachable account right now where I've had courses. Is there an easy way to transfer them to Kajabi, or is it really like I have to go in and just manually?
You'd probably have to do it piece by piece to transfer it, but it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, the stuff's built. That's the most important thing. Other than that, it's the transfer part. It's tedious, but it shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, yep. That was it. Thanks.
You got it. Evelyn. You're muted. Evelyn, you're muted.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hi, my question is, how mobile responsive is Kajabi?
Very mobile responsive. As a matter of fact, in the pages within Kajabi, you can actually do something that's really cool that you can't do in a lot of pages. So let me just real quickly go in and show that.
Thank you.
That is within a page. Let's go back into our pages here. Let's pick this page here for a basic opt-in page. And let's go to customize it. So for any given piece in here, inside the form, notice when we scroll down on this, we have the desktop layout and we have a mobile layout. So we can, if we want to make something different for mobile, we can make it different for mobile. And this little box down here in the bottom corner tells you what it's going to look like in mobile.
Oh, okay.
So
great.
you might go, oh, you know what? The mobile version, I don't want that much width in the side. Let me adjust it just in the mobile layout. So it's really cool in that respect.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, looks like we got time for maybe one more. Mary.
Okay, I have a domain that I bought through GoDaddy, but I have an email that I have through Bluehost. So can I keep Bluehost and somehow bring that, my mary@marylelly.com.
Your email addresses and stuff is irrelevant to Kajabi.
Okay,
Michael
so
Neely
I can keep
and
that.
the michaelneely.com domain is bought from GoDaddy. And michaelneely.com, that email is all, or michael@michaelneely.com, that's all through GoDaddy. It's irrelevant of Kajabi.
Oh, but you had said before I would have to have that domain through GoDaddy. Also, since I bought my...
You need to own your domain. I'm just saying you need to own your domain. You can't go to Kajabi and say, I want to set up the custom domain of Mary Lell.
No, that's not my...
If you don't already own the domain.
No, I own the domain, marylelly.com, but I have the email address, mary@marylelly.com, and I have that through Bluehost. So I can keep that?
Totally.
Okay. Do you have time for another?
Well, Jade also has her hand up, so let me get that. And if there's time after that, I'll come back to you.
Got it.
Jade?
Yep. Someone mentioned Teachable, but I was thinking, it sounds like Kajabi kind of does what Teachable does.
It does what Teachable does, and I think better. And the other thing about Teachable is that Kajabi does not charge you on revenue flow. And Teachable does. So like their affiliate structure is not as robust, and there's a lot of other things about Teachable. I've transferred many clients over from Teachable. It's just not quite as good.
Are there people that like I could hire that know Kajabi? Like if I was just like, can you please just set this up for me? Because that's you. Okay, good. Because
so
I'm like sitting here going, I don't want to do this for myself.
I usually end with that. So if anybody wants to hire me for services, just let me know. You can reach out to me at michael@michaelneely.com. Whether you need me to coach you through stuff, whether you need me to physically do some stuff, whatever you need to do, just reach out to me at michael@michaelneely.com. All right. And I really hate to have to run, but it is 2:00 and my next client is waiting. So thank you all so much. You've been wonderful. Great questions. I love what you're up to. And we'll be doing this again next month.
Thanks,
all right.
Michael.
See you all. Bye-bye now.